All right, I'm back in the garage today and I'm working on the Mazda engine here, which I just pulled the oil pan and there is a bunch of metal flakes all in here and they're kind of big and chunky, so something definitely came apart in this. And this is also, in my opinion, the weirdest pickup tube that I've ever seen for an engine, but I'm going to tear this apart and kind of see what I can find. All right, so I just pulled the pickup tube off, and inside of here, if I can get it to focus in there, because it's pretty dark in there, but there is a bunch of metal shavings in there, so I'm imagining that something came apart, blocked the pickup tube, and then seized the engine of oil. So let's get to digging. Well, each of these journals of this crank look absolutely amazing. Same with down here. All of the bearings look amazing. Zero, and there's like absolutely nothing wrong. But it doesn't make any sense because this thing is like completely locked up. I even put the bolt back in and tried to rotate it from here, and it will not move. So either oil pump's locked up or one of the cams is locked up because, I mean, if you look right here and on the back of this timing cover, there is a ton, yeah, you know what I was about to say, of RTV there. And I'm like, I wonder if it was blocking an oil galley. And I wonder if it locked the head up. So my next plan of action is to remove these timing components and try to rotate over the bottom end. See if it's the head that's locked up, oil pump that's locked up, or what. But this will not move right now at all, no matter what. I want to pull the valve cover off this and just kind of see what we see. Right. Well, looking in here, nothing immediately seems like obvious, but it doesn't mean there's not anything wrong. I don't know. Guess we're just going to have to pull off each of these cam caps and just kind of see what's going on in there. Well, messing around here a little bit more, I noticed I can get the engine to rotate, but timing components don't move. So I wonder what's actually going on there. Something is majorly messed up. It's like the keyway on the crank is just sheared off or something. Assuming this has a keyway, but yeah, we're gonna find out. All right, so I started pulling these two rod caps and I noticed these two bearings spun. Like, they look absolutely horrible. But so this one I just loosened. This one is still tight, but I can touch it and it moves back and forth, which it is not supposed to do. That is not good. I'm like, is it missing a bearing or what's going on in there? All right, coming back to this, I'm going to have to figure out a way to get this bolt off because it's just completely rounded. Tried a couple different methods to this madness, and I think because this engine already needs to be cleaned, I think I'm just going to come in here with an angle grinder and just right off because it's clearly not working. All right, well, I had an issue with my phone where it was on time lapse and it didn't work so well, but got the crank out, and now I'm going to flip this thing over, see if I can get the head off, see if the head is good. Hopefully no valves are bent, but the crank here did have to grind that rod cap off because yeah, it was not coming with that stripped bolt, but definitely spun that last rod bearing as well. So yeah. Now in order to pull the head on this, I have to pull the cams on this because they are right in the way of the head bolts, and I believe the head bolts are like a T60 or something massive for a Torx bit, but I'm going to jump on that now. Now this engine will get cleaned. I do have a nice parts washer at my shop that I work at, but I don't have an egg carton right now, so I'm going to use this old battery tray for the MR2. And I'm going to sit the cam caps on this. This will be the front of the engine. I marked an F on it. And then so I'm going to put like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way back just to get everything marked. Couple things here. You'll notice when I was removing the caps, I was kind of going around all randomly, and that's to help try to lift the cam slowly up off of each of the valve springs if it's pushing on them, which it generally is. So basically, if there's pressure on one portion of the cam, I've heard of it. I've not personally seen it, but I have heard of cams getting a hairline crack or just cracking in general, splitting in half. But aside from that, going around this engine, it looks like up here was kind of starved of oil as well. Maybe some metal did get sent through the engine, but I can't feel the grooves, but I can definitely see them on this. I want to say this is going to be usable. I'm just going to have to sand these down a bit, probably with some like 600 grit. Should be good to go after that, but time to pull the cams. Alright, ideally in this scenario, these are one-time use bolts. Usually they torque to, I don't know, 80 foot-pounds, and then you have to go another 90 degrees or 120 degrees, something like that. But I don't know if these are. I know on the Miata, which you can't see from here, I don't know why I looked up, but they are reusable on the Miata, which is weird. But yeah, we'll go over that as well when I get to that point. I know at minimum, definitely going to have to order a crank, and yeah, let's just pull ahead and see what happens here. this head is surprisingly very light. I mean, it is aluminum, but feels like it's, I don't know, 20 pounds or so, but inspecting everything up close, all the valves look to be seated on each of the cylinders here. Like, I'm thinking this head is gonna be good. I like it. Now, if only I can get the freaking RTV out of here, because there's RTV all over the place on this. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna clean this up, some brake clean, and I think it should be good to go. But as for this, I need to get the pistons out of here, connecting rods and all, so let's work on that next. All right, going around looking at everything, all of the cylinders look great. Cylinder walls look to be great, and I'm going to be able to use this block. So basically at this point, all I have to do is clean up the head, clean up the block, order a new crankshaft, new connecting rods, and piston rings, of course. Now, I may be able to use the pistons. None of them looked like they had any real major issues, so yeah, I should be able to use them. But we're gonna see. We're gonna go ahead and try to reuse this and see how far I can get. On this specific engine, I realize I didn't explain why I'm doing rods and piston rings. So the piston rings are to be able to basically reseat the pistons back down into the block. Basically, once the piston rings come out of the block, you can't reuse them. But the rods, the reason I'm replacing the rods is because once the bearings had spun and basically spun over themselves, they basically would have expanded the rod. So ideally, in that scenario, the rod would have stretched. It wouldn't have been usable anymore, and the surface inside of here is not the best anymore. Now, I'm assuming this probably happened before, and that's probably why the rod bearings spun again. But yeah, we're gonna look over everything and just kind of go from there. But that is why I'm replacing the rods. Yeah, you guys will see that in the coming videos as well. But that's gonna end it for this video. I know this was kind of short because of well, all I'm doing is tearing down an engine, figuring out exactly what I need to get, but hope you guys still enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, share, comment down below if you enjoy this kind of content, want to see me do more teardowns and rebuilds of stuff like this. But just remember, don't quit on a body that won't quit.